Hi everyone, it's Saturday, March 29th at about 10 a.m. Eastern Time. I hope you're having a good weekend so far. I just wanted to make a weather update. I've been a little bit quiet lately. I know I haven't made many updates, but I've had a lot of tests and school stuff before spring break. It's my spring break. I got my wisdom teeth out yesterday, making recovery, so hopefully I'll be fine to make some updates as we do seem to be entering a very active stretch of weather. Starting at our live radar, remember it's about 10 a.m. Eastern Time today. That would be 9 a.m. Central. We just have some showers moving in throughout the country. Why is it doing this? We do have some showers moving around throughout the country. We have some going on in Louisiana, all the way over in Mississippi, Alabama. Not seeing much with this, just some light, steady rain. Same thing going on in Indiana, Illinois, over to Ohio. And then we have some showers in northwestern Iowa. No severe weather warnings right now as far as like severe thunderstorms go. No watches, no warnings, but we do have some winter alerts going on here, stretching from Nebraska all the way into Canada, but through northern Michigan. Looks like right now we have some mix trying to fall near Pierre, South Dakota, but this is a winter weather advisor. You can see the details there. For snow and ice accumulations, not seeing a ton of snow, but this ice could be very slippery and dangerous. So please avoid travel once that starts if possible. And then we have an ice storm warning all the way over in Wisconsin for ice, but we could see some snow here as well. So Pierre, South Dakota, Brookings, Minneapolis, all the way over to Duluth and Marquette is where you need to be watching out for the winter side of the system. But now for the really concerning part, the severe weather. So on our SPC outlooks, this is today, day 1. We have a slight risk stretching from northern Missouri into Oklahoma. This includes Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Kansas City, Wichita also included, a marginal from central Iowa down to Texas. This is kind of a more conditional threat. We do have kind of a strong cap in place, which is warm air loft preventing storms from developing. So we might see a little bit of a delay in these storms developing, but once they do pop off, we could see these intensify quickly. Tornado, we do have this little bit of a threat. Not looking like the worst day for tornadoes for this part of the country, but it's possible, so be weather aware. Wind, we have a little bit more of an enhanced threat in Missouri, Kansas, and Oklahoma. And then hail, looking similar, except we do have a hatched risk in northern Oklahoma. Central Oklahoma is where we're seeing the best probability for that. While I'm on SPC Alex, we'll see this. This is a very large risk, very large enhanced risk. We have a lot of cities included. You can see it down there. Memphis, Indianapolis, Nashville, St. Louis, Cincinnati. Remember, this is for tomorrow, Sunday. We have a slight risk in Chicago, Detroit, Columbus, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and then just a little bit. And then we just have a marginal for areas around that, like Houston, Dallas, Austin, Fort Worth, and then up into Milwaukee. So this looks like a very concerning day. This is a very large risk. I mean, we don't usually see this often, but not everyone in this risk will see everything. So let's look at some more specific categories. For tornado risk, I know a lot of people are wondering about that. That is most concentrated from the Louisville area down to almost Little Rock, so Memphis, Nashville, you're included in this. Hatched risk, 10%. This is where the best ingredients will be in place for tornadoes, so this is where you need to watch out most. But anywhere in these colors, brown but even green, you have that chance, so definitely don't let your guard down. But we do have a wind threat, another larger wind threat. This includes Fort Wayne, Indiana, Indianapolis, over to Springfield, and then all the way down to Little Rock, a lot of the same areas in play. This is a very large hatched risk, as we will see a line of storms develop and take over a lot of these areas tomorrow evening, which is why this is so large. Hail looks similar to the wind, except that hatched area does extend a little bit farther to the southwest. Okay, now that we have all this, let's look at, as the same system moves onto the East Coast, another extremely large slight risk all the way from New York to Florida and even back into Louisiana. This is extremely large. Right now, we're only at a slight. If this gets upgraded to an enhanced, I'd say it's going to be down here in the southwestern part of the South, maybe close to the Gulf Coast, Georgia. That's where we're seeing the best ingredients in play, but still not anything as concerning as maybe tomorrow. But please be weather aware if you're in that part of the country. And looking at this, day 4, we do have that risk popping back up. Just can't seem to get a break, but that risk popping back up in Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, and Nebraska, kind of in that 4-state region. And then looking even more concerning is the day 5 risk, where back in the same areas, it seems like, as Sunday's Indianapolis to Little Rock. This is very elevated for this far out, which does mean there's time for this to change, but definitely need to watch out for this because this looks probably out of all the days the most concerning. But again, it is the most far out risk, so there's plenty of time for this to change, but just keep this in mind if you're thinking about next week. I know it's spring break, so if you have any plans, outdoor plans in this part of the country, keep this in mind. Looking at models, maybe. I'm going to look at models to see some of this. Okay, so yeah, this is today. We do see this low pressure, and then finally where we had that slight risk today, we'll see some storms fire up in Kansas, down to Oklahoma. And then that's where that best hail and wind risk is. Those storms will continue overnight, then kind of fade out, but by tomorrow we see this next line. This isn't the most high resolution model, but gives you an idea where we're expecting this to develop. Indiana, this is where this will fire up tomorrow evening. That will move out, and then where we have that risk on Monday along the East Coast is where we'll see these storms continue. And then looking, we have a couple of quieter days, but still watching that move off the East Coast. And then Wednesday is when we see that next risk of severe weather. This is pretty far out, not a very high resolution model, but this is where we're expected to see those fire up. And you can just see the same rounds of rain even as we get into the end of moving over the same locations. Indiana, Kentucky, you'll just keep getting rounds of rain. This is as we get all the way into next weekend. It just won't, and the train is going over you. So that's definitely a flooding concern. Remember, this is pretty far out, but if you see flooded roadways, turn around and don't drown. Finally, it looks like after next weekend, as we get into more of the middle of April, we'll see a quieter pattern. But also, I want to just go back to the system where we have that severe weather threat. We also have another winter side, so the same area is getting winter weather. This weekend, we'll see that risk again during the middle of next week, looking like we could get some decent snow. And then I just wanted to show you this, where we'll see the heaviest rain. The legend is over here. Up to 7 inches is where we're seeing the heaviest rain. 7 inches of rain, that's definitely going to be too much for an already saturated ground where we've seen some storms here. Southern Indiana, pretty much all of Kentucky, this is where we're seeing the heaviest swath of rain. But see, anywhere around this part of the country is really going to get a good dose of rain, so you need to watch out for that. Well, I think that's about all I had. I know it's not the best update, but I'm just trying to get back into this and show you what could happen. Remember, the next days are going to be very dangerous for severe weather all the way through Wednesday. So if you're in any of these areas, please stay weather aware. And pay attention to my channel, Local Meteorologist, and some other weather channels to stay updated with the latest updates. And please stay safe. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.